back down like SmackDown. What the fuck is up? What's happening? What's good with it? How y'all feeling? How you living? Are you living? Be getting this demonstration underway in just a couple seconds. As always. And I think we're in motion. Yeah. Alright.
We are learning more about events surrounding the death of the Boeing whistleblower, John Barnett. Barnett was found dead in his truck in a Holiday Inn parking lot just off of Savannah Highway. Preliminary reports from the Charleston County Coroner's Office are that his death appears to be from a self-inflicted wound. However, that has not quelled the public attention over his death. For years, Barnett said publicly he was retaliated against by the world's largest aerospace company because he blew the whistle on unsafe practices. Our investigative reporter Ann Emerson has been talking to sources familiar with the story today. Ann, what are you learning about Barnett's death?
Well, right now we're trying to nail down the timeline of John Barnett's death and the last time anyone saw or heard from him alive. Take a look at this timeline. The hotel staff told police John Barnett checked into room 511 at the hotel on March 2nd. Barnett's lawyer tells me he sat down for his deposition with Boeing's lawyers on Thursday the 7th. It was the start of a months-long deposition process ahead of the June trial. March 8th, Barnett puts his complaints of a hostile work environment at Boeing on the record with his lawyers, but he grows tired of the questioning and leaves a little early. The idea was they would resume the next morning. His lawyer, Rob Turkowitz, tells me he spoke to his client for the last time around 6 p.m. Friday night. Saturday, March 9th, the weather is terrible. Huge storms inundate this area. 9:24 a.m., a hotel staff member said they heard a pop near where Barnett's car was parked, but thought nothing of it. Turkowitz called the hotel when Barnett fails to show up for the deposition around 10 a.m. Hotel staff locate Barnett in his car with the gun still in his hand, and what they say was a note on the passenger seat.
We did not have any indication that he was under tremendous stress to the point where he would, take his own life.
Well, right now we are waiting for the Charleston Police Department to finish the investigation into Barnett's death. They're the lead agency and have yet to ask for any assistance. Part of the evidence will include the coroner's report and whether this was indeed a suicide. Coming up at 7, we're going to take a closer look at what we know about John Barnett's state of mind before his death.
I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way.
First tonight, our investigative reporter Ann Emerson has new information in the death of Boeing whistleblower John Barnett. A close family friend of Barnett says he predicted he might wind up dead, that a story could surface that he killed himself. But he told her, don't believe it. And Tessa, Barnett's family friend Jennifer said they had talked about this exact scenario playing out, but his words seemed like a premonition. He told her, don't ever believe it.
I knew John because his mom and my mom are best friends. And so over the years, get-togethers, birthdays, celebrations, and, whatnot, we've all got together and talked, and, that's how we really know each other.
And when Jennifer needed help one day, Barnett came by to see her. They talked about his upcoming depositions in Charleston. Jennifer knew he filed an extremely damaging complaint against Boeing. He says the aerospace giant retaliated against him when he blew the whistle on unsafe practices. For more than 30 years, Barnett was a quality manager. He'd recently retired and moved back to look after his mom in Louisiana.
He wasn't concerned about safety because I asked him, I said, aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. You know, I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Not true. He's got too much to do, likes breathing. And he did. He had a lot of plans of things that he wanted to do.
What do you think happened?
I think somebody got in there and made, money can buy anything nowadays, it seems like. And there's a lot of evil in this world. I think somebody didn't like what he had to say and wanted to shut him up and didn't want it to come back on anyone, so that's why they made it look like a suicide.
The last time she saw Barnett, it was at her father's funeral in late February. He was one of the pallbearers. Sometimes family and friends referred to him by his middle name, Mitch.
I think everybody is in disbelief and can't believe it. And I told everybody that I don't care what they say, I know that Mitch didn't do that.
And just because Mitch Barnett is dead doesn't mean this case won't move forward. His attorneys say they're still prepared to go to trial in June. Working for you, Ann Emerson, News 4.
Now, ain't that about a bitch? It appears I wasn't the only one under the impression there's more to the story. I mean, when you take all factors into account, it's difficult not to come to certain conclusions, whether they're accurate or not. Now, she alleges he went so far as to let her know beforehand, look, if I come up dead, it was absolutely not a suicide. Now, in many cases, this would seem like the smoking gun, the nail in the coffin. However, there's one thing that would be the defining factor in what took place, and that will be the surveillance footage from the Holiday Inn parking lot. That's going to tell it all. Now, if it comes back, he was the only one in the car, and the gun that was used was registered to him, it's a wrap. Now, whether you want to go down the MK Ultra, mind control, or Dragon's Breath rabbit hole, that's on you. The surveillance footage will prove definitively whether or not the gunshot wound was self-inflicted. Though, even if it comes back that it was, I have a strange feeling there will still be a lot of speculation surrounding this situation. Y'all remember when John McAfee said if he comes up dead, it wasn't a suicide? You know, John McAfee, the computer programmer. He created the antivirus software that comes pre-installed on most new computers. McAfee. Some of y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, being in the position that he was in and having access to the information that he did made him very dangerous to very powerful individuals who had secrets they couldn't afford to get out. So legend has it. Matter of fact, hold on just a second.
British-born U.S. technology entrepreneur John McAfee died by suicide in a Barcelona prison after the Spanish High Court authorized his extradition to the United States on tax evasion charges, his lawyer told Reuters. McAfee's lawyer, Javier Villalba, said the antivirus software pioneer died by hanging as his 9 months in prison brought him to despair. During a court hearing, McAfee, 75, said that given his age, he would spend the rest of his life in jail if convicted in the United States. I am hoping that the Spanish court will see the injustice of this, he said, adding, the United States wants to use me as an example. McAfee had lived for years on the run from U.S. authorities, some of that time aboard a megayacht. He was indicted in Tennessee on tax evasion charges and was charged in a cryptocurrency fraud case in New York. The colorful tech founder was detained on October 3rd at the Barcelona airport as he was about to board a flight to Istanbul with a British passport, a Spanish police source said at the time. McAfee worked for NASA, Xerox and Lockheed Martin before launching the world's first commercial antivirus in 1987. Intel, INTC.O, bought the business in 2011 when McAfee himself no longer had any involvement. The program still carries his name and has 500 million users worldwide. Spain's High Court said it agreed to extradite McAfee to the United States. The Regional Justice Department confirmed that a U.S. man aged 75 awaiting extradition was found dead in his cell on Wednesday. Prison authorities were investigating the cause of death. McAfee still had opportunities to appeal his conviction, Villalba said. U.S. prosecutors asked the judge overseeing the tax evasion case to dismiss charges because of McAfee's death. McAfee said in 2019 that he had not paid U.S. income taxes for 8 years for ideological reasons. That year, he left the United States to avoid trial, largely living on a megayacht with his wife, 4 large dogs, 2 security guards and 7 staff. He offered to help Cuba avoid a U.S. trade embargo using cryptocurrency and sought to run for U.S. president for the Libertarian Party.
It was said that certain interests couldn't afford him making it back to the United States facing these charges and divulging certain information. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, the chips fell where they did. As for the Boeing dude, the Holiday Inn surveillance footage will tell us most of what we need to know. But that's it in terms of topics right now. I'm gonna see if I can knock out this mission right quick without getting embarrassed before I end this live stream. Feel free to say whatever in the chat. You know how they like to cheat me, so they might pull one. They might bust one. It's just supposed to be quick and easy.
Armor Ross drone locked. Ready for uplink.
Okay. Let's see what they talking about. Put this Desert Eagle on his ass right quick. Oh, man. It ain't gonna be as easy as I thought. Alright, fuck it. Yep. Alright. I'm finna bust a move. I'm gonna get up with y'all in a minute. Stay up and all that.